The first impression is that the new Fortuner is indeed a better, more refined and better finished car. And while it's taken its time to get to India, I am glad it's finally here. Toyota has launched the new Fortuner at 25,92,000 to 27,61,000 rupees for the petrol and 27,52,000 to 31,12,000 rupees for the diesel. Now, when it's a new generation of a popular product like the Fortuner, intense scrutiny, it's bound to happen. But even if I set that aside, the thing that grabs you straight away when you start driving this car, 5 minutes in, city traffic doesn't matter, highway doesn't matter, you pick it up right away. And that is, the car's a lot stiffer, so much stiffer. It maintains its composure. Doesn't matter what you throw at it, no shudders, no shakes, and no roll. I mean, it's such a big change. So whether you're on the highway and you want to go through a corner a little bit fast, cornering, no problem. In city traffic, darting in and out, maneuvering through it, no problem. So that's really great. I think it's a big change. I know that Toyota's worked on it, and it shows. The earlier Fortuner's bouncy ride has been replaced with a more planted feel. The car also feels wider and tends to offer a better stance when on the road. The 2.8-litre diesel engine has a generous 173.4 bhp on tap and delivers 420 Nm of peak torque. That peak torque comes in between 1600 and 2400 RPM, and you'll never fall short of it driving this car. The petrol is a new 2.7-litre motor that churns out 162.6 bhp and 245 Nm of torque. The petrol engine, though, comes across as very refined, and its running is smooth. Now, having driven the car pretty much all day, on both the diesel and the petrol, the automatic gearbox is just a little bit disappointing because it's really slow. It's bordering on sluggish, and what I mean by that is that it doesn't give you the electric response you really want, especially when you're sort of darting in and out of traffic like I have been now for some time, and you got to almost sort of urge it into action. In fact, the silver lining to that is that at least now you have paddle shifters, but even there, by the way, you have to get used to its response time because it's not as if you flick the paddle and bang, you get the gear you want. You got to almost count to 1.5 in your head, and that's when the gear changes. And so once you get used to that, of course, driving with the paddles is a lot more satisfying. The four-wheel drive system is only an option on the diesel engine variant. You can get either fuel type in rear-wheel drive though. We didn't really have much of a chance to test the 4x4 capabilities of the car, but the few stony, muddy bits that I drove through on a mountain trail, I managed just fine in two-wheel mode. So rest assured, the car's SUV status is very intact. Safety features are all standard: 7 airbags, ABS or anti-lock brakes, stability control, ISOFIX child restraint systems. The automatic gearbox variant get the hill hold function, while the 4x4 will also have the hill descent setting. The Fortuner also gets 2 buttons placed between the driver and the front passenger: Eco and Power. As the name suggests, they either offer optimally efficient running for the engine or give you an instantly higher output to be able to push hard. So the first generation Fortuner was all about being big and bulky and really sort of butch. That's what everybody liked about it. That's the big sort of image building role it played for Toyota as well. On the new car, things have changed dramatically. It still retains this nice big proportion, but what you're seeing is a lot more of a high-end feel to the front. Lots of chrome, perhaps too much. And if you look at this kind of a styling, almost scooped out effect here, it's a little Lexus-like. You do get daytime running lights now, LED of course, and the chrome sweeps all the way down here, and it does give the car much more modern, contemporary look. It makes it a little pretty, if you will, though you know what, it will probably still polarize people in terms of how it looks. It is a very distinct new direction for Toyota. Chrome still running along here, and this is where it accentuates the fact that the metal actually travels up here as the door finishes and then goes back down towards the D pillar. The tail light, I have to say, is nicely finished. It is very modern and has a nice sweeping, fluid, organic sort of an effect to it. No puns intended on that word, fluid. And yeah, I think the rear of the car looks really modern, very contemporary and stylish. The cabin is way better finished and more sophisticated than the first generation cars. The dark tones, leather and wood finish all come together well. It's not as luxurious as the German SUVs, nor as pretty as the Santa Fe, but it boasts good material quality and layout. The central console dominates and houses a touchscreen infotainment navigation system with USB and Bluetooth connectivity options and climate control, all standard by the way. The steering wheel is also replete with buttons, everything from voice command to buttons for operating the music, and even buttons to a very rich new information screen on the instrument cluster that has multiple screens with all kinds of trip and vehicle information. The Fortuner looks very strong and should take the segment by storm despite its pricier positioning, though the Ford Endeavour now looks like a little bit more value for sure.